This week's episode is sponsored by Godox.
You're listening to the B&H Photography Podcast. For 50 years, B&H has been the professional source for photography, video, audio, and more. For your favorite gear, news, and reviews, visit us at bnh.com or download the B&H app to your iPhone or Android device. Now here's your host, Alan Weitz.
Greetings and welcome to the B&H Photography Podcast. My name is Alan Weitz.
And I'm creative producer Jill Waterman.
And although you won't hear him that much, let's not forget our sound guy, Mike Weinstein, who did some heavy lifting hauling our mobile studio around the Javits Center for today's episode. We're going to try something new in this show, the ambush interview. We're taking you on site to B&H's first ever Bild Expo held in celebration of B&H's 50th anniversary. Now, if you're not up on your Yiddish, Bild is Yiddish for image, which is an apt symbol of B&H's long commitment to the creative community. During 2 days in September, well over 10,000 attendees converged on New York's Jacob Javits Center to be inspired, educated, and entertained by more than 100 presenters in photography and media. Visitors were also wowed by a world-class expo featuring hundreds of vendors and partners, not to mention an incredible display of classic cameras and vintage photographica to drool over in the B&H Camera Museum. What's hard to describe was the level of camaraderie among members of the creative community permeating the entire event. It was intense, if not intoxicating at times. Old friends, new acquaintances, and ample opportunity for hands-on time with the latest in new tech toys. We were there too, seeking out willing subjects at every turn to record short-form interviews with a roll-of-the-dice mix of speakers, vendors, and B&H employees. We're starting the show with the man at the helm, B&H's CEO, Menashe Horowitz, who we ambushed on the show floor just as he finished an intensive conversation at a vendor booth. Have a listen. All right, we are at Bild Expo at the Javits Center in New York City with Menashe Horowitz, who's the CEO of B&H. Mr. Horowitz is the head of B&H and has been bringing it to places where we've never been before over the past few years. This is a first for the company. And I know that somebody presented this idea to you at some point in time, and you had to deliberate over it and say, yes, no, is it worth it? Expos aren't done anymore. And here we are, and this place is packed. Some thoughts?
First of all, I don't view this as an expo. I view this as bringing together the creator community. So it's not really expo focused. While the name may be Bild Expo, it was much more about a thought of, getting everybody together, all the creators, different backgrounds, different groups, different focuses, and just giving them an awesome, amazing program, and gear being part of that. And I think that's the dividends that we pay for this. That we got everybody here excited, passionate, and it's not just a simple traditional expo.
Points taken. There was definitely an energy here today that I have not seen in a crowd of this type in a long, long while. Everybody is definitely juiced and happy to be here. No two ways about it. Quite successful event.
Thank you very much. I'm sensing the same thing with everybody I'm talking to over here.
That's it.
So it's lovely. We have, the best customers one can ask for. And we're going to keep on upping the game and doing more and more for our customers so we can build better and better communities.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and mazel tov.
Thank you.
After elbowing our way to the edge of the crowd, we spied our next victim on a rare break from his role as ringmaster of the pro photo shooting stage. It looked like he was about to take a well-earned lunch break, so we figured, what better time to pounce? Sir, what is your name and what brings you to Bild today?
I'm Cliff Hausner, and I work for Pro Photo, and I'm here as a vendor showing off and shooting with people who are attending the show.
And you've been busy because since early this morning, it's like one person after the other. How many people have taken pictures at the Pro Photo?
About 150 people.
I figure at least that, right?
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe more. And that's we're still at lunchtime. So
exactly. And we just interrupted your lunch, but that's okay.
That's okay. No,
that's why they pay you.
That's what you
and they pay you the big bucks for that.
If it wasn't you, I wouldn't have taken the call. You know what I'm saying?
So for our listeners who are not familiar with who you are, Cliff, what do you do for Pro Photo?
That's a problem. I'm not really sure because I don't have a title.
Yeah.
I kind of asked for no title.
Right.
But I do sales, marketing, advertising, and I'm a photographer.
And Friday afternoons you sweep and lock up. And turn the lights off.
And the bathrooms need to be clean, so somebody has to do it.
You still got stuck with that detail?
I did get that detail. I love doing it, though. It's my pleasure. It is.
All right. Now, We have 3 questions for you.
Oh, those weren't the questions?
No.
Oh, I
now
thought
here's
those
the
were the
fun
questions.
part. The first question is, go ahead, what is that?
I can't say this. I can't tell you the truth. I can't. The question is, what is your most essential creative tool?
Yeah.
That's between my wife and me.
Good night, everybody. All right. Question
bada
number
boom.
2.
What's your most effective way of connecting with your audience? I think, no joke, I love photography. And my love of photography is what draws people in. I literally have hundreds and hundreds of people who walk through this show who stopped and said hello to me. And they know that I love what I do and I love photography. And I think that's the difference. It is a passion. It's actually, I'm not me without photography.
That's a good way of summing you up as well. I mean, you just eat the stuff up. You live it.
I've been doing it since I'm 8 years old and just continue to do it now and 66 and I still love it every minute.
Wow. Have you managed to take a good picture in all that time?
You know what? If you shoot enough pictures, you got to come up with one, right? Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So,
it's true. Oh, yes, I like that.
Yes. Okay, this is 3. Who's a past creative who you most admire? That's a tough one. I have a lot of photographers who I love.
So aside from me.
Aside from you, you know what? I'm going to say my father. It's a hard one. Photojournalist. He worked with the Times for 50 years. And he's my favorite. He's my favorite father. He was my favorite father. He's passed, but and my favorite photographer. But I'd never tell him while he was alive.
Wow.
But
well,
there's a lot of other people. Yeah.
You didn't know.
No, I knew.
You knew?
Yeah, we used to bust each other, but he knew, and he came to love that I became a
No,
photographer.
Ed Housen was
awesome.
a classic photographer. I
Yep.
mean, there's a lot of tremendous photographs out there with his byline on it.
Yep.
So that's
And
not
they
just
still,
that's
they
not
still
your
every
take
once
on
in a
it.
while in the Times, I look at the Times and his images are in there with his byline, and it makes me happy for him.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
That's really good stuff.
Where can people find out more about you and what you do?
So Instagram, Cliff Hausner, CliffHausner, and you'll find me on Instagram, and you can go to prophoto.com, and you should find me there as well.
And if you're ever in any of the trade shows, stop by and say hi, because Cliff is always happy to meet a new friend.
Right, exactly. I need more friends. I do.
You
I
do.
love it. All right, especially photographers.
All right. Cliff, thank you so much. Always great talking with you.
My pleasure, brother.
Love you, brother.
Thank you. You too. That was fun. Thank you, guys.
While navigating the show floor, I spotted a familiar face, somebody with a history in the business that rivals my own. I just had to say, greetings, stranger. So tell us your name and what brings you to Bild.
My name is Mason Resnick, and what brings me to Bild is New Jersey Transit.
Okay, all right. My condolences on that. But after you got through that horrible experience.
I haven't been to a trade show in quite a while, and I wanted to get the vibe again, and it's good. It's
coming back. You're feeling it again.
I feel it.
We should mention this is a former editor of Popular Photography.
Former managing editor.
Managing
yes.
editor. If I must be corrected on that, okay?
About 15, 20 years ago,
So
yes.
the man knows his cameras.
When dinosaurs and film cameras still ruled the earth, but we were trying to change that.
Okay, that sounds like his 30-second
Elevator pitch.
elevator pitch. Okay,
So,
now
pick
we're going
a
to have 3 questions for you.
Question from the
But you
bag.
can't peek. You got to just pick them out and then...
Okay.
And the question is...
What's your most treasured creative project to date? Street photography on the streets of New York, and it's ongoing for 45 years.
Okay, that's question number 1.
Okay.
Question number 2.
Question number 2. Bum-ba-da-dum. How often do you recalibrate, pivot your marketing and branding? I feel like I do it every other day.
Okay.
Until it works.
Until it works.
So I keep going.
All right. And
Okay.
question number 3 is...
Question number 3 is... Da-da-dum. It is... What is your biggest creative fail? 45 years of street photography.
And one final question. Are you or have you ever been?
That's a good question.
Fill in the blanks, whatever you want to do with it.
Well, I was the first webmaster of bhphotovideo.com.
That is correct, actually.
Little known fact.
There you go.
I am a footnote in the wheels, and when we started, it was just me and 2 assistants, and now it's hundreds of people running the website. My baby has grown so nicely.
Mason, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, Alan. It's great to see you.
Always.
Always.
Next, we slowly glided up the shiny new escalators to scope out the scene around the 4 huge speaker stages, which to our delight afforded us considerably better acoustics for our own needs. We soon laid eyes on a rather dignified-looking stranger who looked like he had a good story to tell. New guest here. What is your name and what brings you to Bild?
My name is Michael Yamashita, and
Okay.
I am a photographer, I think,
Yeah.
of some note, maybe. So, but
National
I came,
Geographic specifically?
yeah, and so I came, of course, to see many of my friends who are speaking here and just get a lay of the land. I was at a Sony event last week in Utah, and again, it was a large gathering of photographers, and still, though there was very little emphasis on the still photograph, it was almost all about video, which seems to be the hot topic of.
Do you find that alienating?
Well, no, it's just never been my storytelling. For me, is all about still pictures and on the printed page, or now, of course, digital, and most of my work you can see on Instagram, for example.
And we're going to ask that question at the very end. That's one of our last ones.
Oh,
In the
okay.
meantime, we're going to ask you 3 questions, but you
Yes.
have to pick the questions out of this bag.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead. What's the first question?
What's the most drool-worthy item on your B&H wish list? Well, I am fairly lucky that I think I have everything I ever wanted in photography as far as equipment.
Is that
but-
possible?
Well, I'm a Sony ambassador for
yes.
China.
Oh,
So
okay.
I have been fortunate to receive a lot of gear. So maybe I'd get something very long just because I don't have anything more than, say, 600. So.
You need bragging rights more than that.
okay.
You definitely need more. Okay. All right. That's one question. Question number 2 is.
Where do you see your creative practice 10 years from now? Wow. Well, I am at the stage of my career, which maybe I only got 10 years of shooting left. So I'm shooting all the time and spending a lot of time in Japan, which is my roots, both photographically as well as my ethnic background. So that's where I intend to be shooting for the next 10 years. And,
Sounds like a good goal.
Yeah, now that travel is back, I've been spending 4 seasons in Japan every year.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, thank you.
One last question. Where are these pictures going to be? Where are they ending up?
Well, I'm working on 2 books.
Okay.
My areas of interest and expertise are Asia.
Right.
And so I have a book coming out in China. It's the history of China through foreign photographers' eyes.
Ooh.
And it's a 5-volume set. And I am the only living photographer, as the other 4 so-and-so for the 1800s and so-and-so from late 1800s, early 1900s. Each has a collection, which will be a book. Mine takes the last 40 years.
For what it's worth, I was there for 3 weeks in 2020. If you want
Wow.
to do a book on what I did.
Yeah, well, for me, I've been shooting there. So
Wow.
Then I
So
have
you've
another
seen
one.
change.
Oh, God, yeah, plenty of change, and being very fortunate to see this country under the most amazing growth pattern ever in the history of the world. So,
Yeah, it's a mind-boggling place to visit. I mean, when I was there, it took me 2 days just to start taking pictures because I was just astounded by everything around me. It was just
Yeah.
it was overwhelming
Yeah.
to be there to see what's been accomplished and the scale of things.
yeah,
So fascinating story.
Well, unfortunately, because of politics and recent happenings everywhere, China is not a place on everybody's list to go to anymore. But
We feel fortunate that we were there. It was like
Yeah.
6 months before COVID hit, and that's when the party ended.
I agree. And
Yeah.
for me, I'm tilted totally to Japan now. I have one of the world's biggest Instagram followings. And so if you go to Yamashita Photo, you can see the photographs of China and the ones I'm working in now on Japan. I post most every day. So
He's answering the questions before we ask him. Have you noticed that?
great that you took the initiative to put on such a show, because I don't even remember when the last Photo Expo was, but
Years ago. Years ago.
So it's
Yeah,
nice to see this again, and again, the fact that it's so well populated is a great thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't argue with you on that one.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mike.
so much. Down at the far end of the speaker's floor, while lurking outside the portfolio reviews, we ran into one of Bild's featured speakers and a primary target for our 3-question creators quiz. All right. Your name is?
Matt Hill.
Matt Hill. Okay. What brings you to Bild today?
Today, National Parks at Night is speaking at 4 p.m., and I was just doing some image reviews.
Oh, okay. That's your 30-second elevator spiel, right?
I said it in 10, though. No.
Okay, pick a question. Any question.
Picking a question. How often do you recalibrate or pivot your marketing and branding?
What a guy to ask.
Well, that's really interesting.
Isn't it?
It is. I would say every time it stops working, you have to go back to the board and figure it out. Or every time you want to grow. So it's not on a schedule, it's on demand.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Very good. Pick another question here.
All right, here we go. Question number 2. What's your most treasured creative project to date? Oh, I love that question. My most treasured project is called Night Paper. It's a project where I created fashion out of paper, and people wore that while I made long exposure portraits of them at night in lots of different locations. You know, sometimes it was by a lake, on a mountain, or in the desert, or even in urban landscapes too.
Maybe something a little more challenging than that? That sounds fairly simple.
It was one of the most challenging projects I've ever
That's
done.
pretty
too.
involved. Okay.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Cool.
Oh, what's my biggest creative fail? Oh, that is a great question. Oh, it had to have been during that project, during Night Paper, where, you know, like when things didn't work out, you know, which is every time you go out and do something that pushes your boundaries. It would have to be, you know, like whenever you're stopped by the police and ask them, you know, like, why are you doing this in the place you are? And you have to sweetly talk your way out of it. Or when you try something that's just might not work. It's hard to be specific about it because practically every time I go out and shoot, I push to fail. And then I figure out how to overcome that failure.
Or replicate the failure if it works out well.
Precisely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping me on the street and asking me questions.
Thank you for
And
joining us.
one more thing. Where can listeners find out more about you and your work?
Oh, thanks for asking, Jill. Visit us at nationalparksatnight.com for our free blog and our upcoming Season 9 workshops and photo tours around the world.
You won't be disappointed. The Bild Expo is a huge undertaking that required recruiting what seemed like half of the B&H employees from throughout the company to help out, offer directions, and answer attendee questions. We were curious about their impressions of the show, so we hit up the guy at the 4th floor information booth. Next victim!
How are you?
All right, I'm doing swell. So, what is your name and what brings you to Bild today?
My name is Nicholas Roman. I'm an employee of B&H.
So you had to be here today, no choice.
No choice.
And you are helping people find their way around.
I am sitting at the information desk.
So, 30 seconds or less. What do you do for B&H?
So I work in their B2B department, specifically in higher education account management, working with schools in the Northeast. Mm-hmm. So the 7 states within New England and Pennsylvania, any universities, colleges, trade schools, so on and so forth in those 7 states are all my customers.
Gotcha. And institutions like this, they will get special pricing on top of the special pricing that we always have at B&H.
We have various contracts
Right.
that offer educational discounts. We have long-standing relationships with many of these customers over decades, I'm sure, at this point.
Gotcha.
And what's your favorite part of your job?
Well, I love connecting with customers. I love hearing their stories. I love hearing what projects they're getting into, and actually going out and visiting those schools and kind of seeing what the fruits of their labor and our help has brought forth. It's exciting. You know, they're on the cutting edge. These are up-and-coming content creators, photographers, videographers, cinematographers, so on and so forth that, will be out there leading the field in the years to come.
All right. Well, thanks for speaking with us, okay? And I'm hoping that all the questions that come your way the rest of today and tomorrow are answerable.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So far, so good. And you all have been great. So good luck in acquiring some more interviewees. This has been great.
Have a great day.
Have a great expo.
You too.
Photography trade shows always bring out gearheads, but when we spotted a longtime visuals editor wandering the halls, we couldn't help but ask her for some tips about pitching projects to editors. We are again at Bild Expo at the Javits Center in New York City. We're with Elizabeth Christ. What's your current title now? This is the tricky one.
I'm an independent visual editor, but I'm also a co-founder of the Visual Thinking Collective.
All right. Are you speaking at the expo?
I did a panel yesterday. I was part of one with like 5 other people.
Okay, and what was the topic?
It was about editors and about how photographers can pitch editors and their interactions.
Aha. Could you give us one, maybe 2 good tips?
Ooh, that is
I know it's a whole
tough.
conversation, but
Right, exactly.
if
We could
you
go
had
for
to sum it
hours.
up in a nutshell, what's one key thing that you have to say, no matter what you're doing, here's something, always have this in mind?
Well, I feel like you really need to know how to distill your pitch into a few really cogent observations. And that would be, why are you the right person to do this story? Why is the publication or the outlet the right place to be pitched this story? And why is this a good time? So it's sort of why us, why you, why now?
That actually is a very good summarization. No, that's
That
what
was
it's
the
about.
easiest thing that came to
Especially
mind.
when people are on tight schedules, you don't want to
Right.
waste their time with nonsense.
Right.
Here's who I am. Here's why I'm here. That's pretty good.
How about a pet peeve about pitches you've received? Is there anything that floats to the top of the list that people should not do?
I think the most difficult thing is when people send in pitches that are really long and very dense, and you might get 2 or 3 pages that are, just packed with information, and it's just, I need to see something really quickly, and most editors are much more busy too, and they just need to see, something distilled right at the top. What is this story about, and why is it visual?
No long build-up. Get right to the point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's 2 good
Exactly.
pieces of advice we've got here in the past few minutes.
How about your time here at the expo?
Oh, I love being here, but I have to say it's mostly because I just so enjoy running into friends. I mean, I'm constantly at every turn running into people that I know or people who are in different workshops, and it's
Sure.
just a joy,
Yeah.
see people in person.
I find it the same way.
Yeah.
I always run into faces I'll see in no other places from all
Right.
different times in my life.
Right.
And that's one of the cool things about these.
Exactly. And
It
then
really
being
is.
able to introduce people, being
Yes.
able to connect different people from different parts of my life. I love that too. It's wonderful.
Any particular things that stood out to you here?
Well, I'm really impressed, I have to say, by the diversity of the crowd. I really did not expect it. And while there are a lot of, how should I say, older people my age and a lot of men, tons of men, on the other hand, there is a wonderful mix of younger people and people of color. And I'm just thrilled, and not enough women probably, but still a lot of
You
women.
think so?
Well, there could always be more. there.
Honestly, I'm okay with that. If there were more women on this planet, it would be a better place to live. And I know that.
I would have
All right.
to agree.
I'm on your side there.
Okay, great.
And where can people find out more about you and the work you're doing?
Oh, well, sadly, my website is way out of date. But if you go to visualthinkingcollective.com, that's where you see, Sarah and me and Lauren and Shannon.
Excellent.
Great.
Elizabeth, Chris, thank you so much for joining us.
Wonderful to talk to you, even if it was by surprise.
An ambush interview.
Yes, exactly. The best way. Okay, great. Thanks.
As the day wore on, lines of shutterbugs formed outside the lecture halls, anxious to meet their creative heroes. We took a spot at the back of one line that led us to a fan favorite. We are at the Bild Expo at the Javits Center in New York City, and we are with the one and only Scott Kelby.
Whoa.
And this is about the third or fourth time that I think we've had you on the show in various guises. So here you're at Bild, and what were you speaking about today?
I was doing a class called Crush the Composition, which is basically about going beyond the standard rules of composition and talking about things that nobody talks about, secret stuff that's passed on from photographer to photographer in the most painful way possible.
But it's all secret, so you can't fill us in on it.
Unfortunately, no. You would have had to attend the class and also sign an NDA as you go in, so to never disclose what you learned or use it, for that matter.
All right, well, we're going to ask 3 questions that you haven't been asked yet today, and you're going to actually pick them out of a bag. How do you like that?
All right. What is your most treasured creative project to date? Well, that's probably pretty easy. So my wife and I did a number of shoots together that were based on song titles, reinterpreting the title. So not doing the title exactly as the song is, but reinterpreting it and then shooting a visual version of it. And it's just so much fun. I don't have to worry about anything, right? All I have to worry about is the lighting and the camera settings, and she worries about everything, directing the model, the location, the scene, the permits, whatever else. She takes care of all of that.
The grunt work. She leaves all the glory to you.
All the her work. No, she does a lot of work during the shoot. She's directing the subject. So all I have to do,
she's earning her-
literally,
okay,
she's
earning her
very
keep.
good.
Okay.
She has got creativity flowing through her veins. She is really good. So that would be my most fun. When I'm working with her, we have the best time. It's a collaboration. We just have so much fun. Now, I've worked with my wife my whole life. We work in the same company. We own the same company. When we had offices together, I had a door between our offices that we never closed. So I could see her, just lean forward and go, "Hi, hon." But we just, it's 34 years last week.
That's great. That's
Thanks.
wonderful.
Happy anniversary.
Happy
Thank you.
anniversary.
Thank you very much.
Now we're going to get her side of the story.
Question. Has your creative practice evolved over time? This is horrible to admit. I think my creativity is my weakness, and which is, I think, why I lean on my wife, because I see things that other people do, and I'm like, why didn't I think of that? I don't know. I don't feel like a non-creative person, but I don't think that's my strong point. I think my strong point is all the other stuff. It's not coming up with the idea. It's executing the idea. That's, yes, let's go with that. So I would say that the way my creativity has evolved over time is to lean more on my wife. This was not supposed to be all about my wife. Is the third question also going to loop my wife in some way here at the last minute? What's your favorite place for taking your wife for dinner? No, that's not it. I'm just making that up. What is your favorite place for getting new ideas? Hands down, it's Instagram. Instagram is wonderful to go through there and look at other people, and it's also frustrating because, like I said, I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I think? But that's where I get the most inspired. If I look through and spend some time on Instagram, I want to grab my camera and run out the door and go shooting. Mm-hmm. So I think looking at the work of other photographers is one of the most inspiring and informative things you can do. So that was an easy one.
Oh, okay. Scott, thank you so much for taking a few moments. If
My pleasure.
Our listeners want to catch up on your current work, your old work, and everything you're up to, where can they go to?
They can go to scottkilbyworkshops.com. I do 3 workshops around the world each year. Or they can go to lightroomkillertips.com, which is a blog that I write 3 days a week, all on Lightroom tips. So either one of those.
Excellent. Always pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks
a bunch,
here.
Scott Kelby.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
B&H has long held that the company's secret sauce lies in their multi-talented employees, including our next subject, who we interrupted while answering questions in the B&H Camera Museum. Okay, we are still at Bild Expo at the Javits Center with Christian Domek. Now, Christian is an employee of B&H. What do you do for us, sir?
I'm a little bit like a Swiss Army knife. I do a little bit of everything, but I'm part of the road marketing team, so I go out and about, and I'm the song and dance guy in front of our customers out in the shows. Yep, so a little bit of photo, a little bit of audio, a little bit of video, whatever it takes.
And drones, too, right?
And drones, absolutely. That's a combination, right? Combination of photo and video and flying.
Now, you've been with B&H how long now?
Technically, I've been with B&H for close to 19 years.
Okay, so we actually started around the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, B&H was interesting because when you work at B&H, you tend to travel from one department to another. What's your journey been?
It's actually been fairly short. Started on the sales floor when the B&H digital section was about the size of one of these display cabinets behind us, right? And they had like 6 or 7 cameras, and I think about a year later, I was asked to go to an event called Macworld out in San Francisco.
Sure.
I'm from California, so I had family out there, so I got to go out to Macworld.
Right.
And some other event came up, and they asked me again, and then they asked me if I wanted to be part of the marketing department, which then was pretty much what we call road marketing now. So I said, yes, I do. So off I went.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
You are at all of the events. I mean, you're one of the faces of B&H that's like always there. And that's one of the things about B&H. You know that there are some faces you will always be seeing. Okay, launched many careers at Salesforce.
Indeed, yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about working at B&H?
No, my favorite thing is, and I've said this before, it's really the people that I work with. I mean, it's the entire environment, of course, that is smart enough to bring in people that are multifaceted, intelligent, interesting. They're not a one-trick pony, at least on our team, for sure, not a one-trick pony. And they're just great people all around. I was very pleased in my first couple of years at B&H that I could go on any floor, and I had what I would consider friends, people I could stop at their desk and, interrupt their workflow and say hi and chat and whatever, and all the way down the floors. And that was really nice. And that's something I never had in another company ever.
Just as a little point, I think it's important to point out that many of our listeners have never been to the store. And for those who have been to the store, which is huge, it's a block long.
Yeah.
Most of what happens, that's just the store. If you go 1 block north, there's an 18-story building, half of which is occupied by B&H. And that's marketing, and that's all things online,
Absolutely.
executive offices. So it's a monster organization
It
with
is.
many, many people.
It
The
is.
store is huge, and the store is wonderful.
Right.
It's an amazing place to go to. Up the street, it's a total different environment.
It's a whole different animal.
And here we are in the Javits.
Here we are in the Javits. We own the Javits, at least for a day.
Anyway, Chris, thank you so much
pleasure.
for
Thank you.
talking with us. And here's to another, at least 9 more years until you could retire.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, we're going to take a walk outside to see if we could find a sandwich that costs less than a limited edition Leica. We'll have more roving interviews for you when we come back. Stay tuned.
Ultra compact at 18 inches long and weighing in at only 1.2 pounds, the Godox LC500 and LC500R mini LED light sticks provide a portable, handheld lighting option as a hair light, side light, or fill light. While both light sticks provide adjustable daylight to tungsten color temperatures, the LC500R Mini also has a full RGB mode, so you can choose from the entire color spectrum for your scene. Each mini light stick features multiple lighting effects, a set of barn doors, a long-lasting rechargeable battery, and Bluetooth remote control from your smartphone. The lighting possibilities with the LC500 and LC500R mini LED light sticks are endless. Head on over to bnh.com for more information about the Godox LC500 and LC500R mini LED light sticks, or use the link in our podcast show notes.
So, for our New York listeners, we're back with an insider tip for a delicious sandwich that won't break the bank. Vento Cafe on West 38th Street, just a block from the north end of the Javits Center. Take our word for it. Now, to kick off the second half of the show, we have a very special guest, a blast from the past. Our very own John Harris, the former and original producer of the podcast. Welcome back to the show, John. It's great to be here.
It's great to be here, too. Thank you, guys. Wonderful to run into you here as I was leaving.
So what brings you into town, John?
Well, I am a photographer still, and actually working on an oral history project. So I went and spoke to the good folks at Rode. Learned about a lot of stuff. And I just wanted to bump into some old friends if I could and, just check it all out, basically.
Right.
There's something legit about seeing stuff and getting your hands on stuff, because you're seeing it on the website, especially, volume and size is hard to tell, stuff like that.
The tactile part of any piece of equipment is important.
Sure.
The specs are one thing, but how it feels in your hand, that's equally important. We have 3 questions to ask you.
Just 3?
But we don't know what they are because you're going to pick them.
All right, cool. That sounds like fun. All right, first one. What's your top visual effect? My bald head. All right. Number 2. Has your marketing and or branding changed in the past year? If so, how? Well, I resigned from the podcast, so I guess I am no longer branded as the podcast. Last one. Where do you see your creative practice 10 years from now? Okay, that's a good one. Well, I am actually kind of venturing into a little bit of a new phase regarding that, but that's in the very near future. So maybe that in 10 years we'll have some payoff. I'd like to get more into oral histories, documentary, and maybe edit photos for a living.
Ooh.
And you've done book projects in the past, so you are a documentary person. That's what's in your blood. I know that.
It's kind of getting back to it.
Gotcha.
I guess is what you'd say. So and then 10 years seems like a long time, but
no, it ain't.
we'll see.
Now, one last question for you. If our listeners want to catch up with your work and the kind of pictures that you do, where should they go to?
Go to the Instagram, JRockPhoto with an F.
There you go. And I love following your stuff, and it's always good seeing you, John.
You too, Alan.
Welcome back to the show.
Thanks, John.
Great job, by the way, keeping up.
It was a high standard to keep up, and we're doing our best.
We never had these cool mics.
Attendance at the show got so thick at times it was hard to single out people in the crowd. That is until the impressive height of another featured speaker caught our eye. Okay, now, sir, your name and what brings you to Bild?
I'm Ron McGill. I'm a Nikon USA ambassador, and I got to tell you something. I am privileged to be here at Bild. I was privileged to be asked to speak, not just at the Nikon stage, but on the Bild stage. And for me, it is such a huge honor to connect with so many incredible photographers, so many people passionate about being storytellers, visual storytellers. This is really one of the best photo conferences I've been at.
And you're one of the people here speaking here. And your specialty is?
It's wildlife photography. You know, I'm a zoologist.
Right.
I'm a zoologist. I really didn't become a trained photographer until I had to. What I did was I would write papers on conservation, my conservation work. I'd submit them to magazines, and they'd say, hey, we need some pictures. So I'd call, stock agencies. I say, I need a picture of a cheetah chasing out. I said, oh, here it is. Okay, how much is that? They tell me how much it was. I went, what? I can't afford that. So I bought a couple of cameras, and I started teaching myself. I started buying, photo magazines and trying to learn how to do these things myself. And all of a sudden, I started entering some of these contests, and I started winning. And that's when I said, God, I got to keep on building on this. Fortunately for me, Nikon became a family for me, and I've been able to use that equipment to be able to effectively tell stories, raise millions of dollars for conservation. And that's the power of photography. There's that old saying, a picture is 1,000 words.
Right.
Well, what we do with our cameras can change the world.
Yep.
So we've got a few questions for you to choose from.
Okay.
This is the fun part.
What's the most drool-worthy item on your B&H wish list? The Nikkor Z800 millimeter lens.
And why don't you have one?
I got to save up a little bit more.
All right.
Got to save up a little more.
You can always sell for a couple more body parts. There's ways of doing it.
I sold a lot of my DSLR stuff because this mirrorless stuff now is just blowing me away.
Oh, you're on it. Okay.
Oh, my gosh, it's blowing me away. Something that I thought I would never get used to, the EVF, the electronic viewfinder, is now something I rely on. I shoot everything manually, and it just allows me to paint with light. I really can make the photograph my own. I can actually cheat a little bit by changing the mood of an actual photograph just by playing through that EVF. It's a godsend.
Yep.
Another
Next question.
How has your creative practice evolved over time? Wow. I've learned to understand that it's not just a portrait of an animal that's important, but connecting the animal to the environment. And coming up with creative ways to show that connection between animal and environment has been a challenge for me, but I think I've evolved a lot in learning how to do that, really showing how they are connected and how, in effect, they all connect to us. I think our goal as wildlife photographers is to say, by protecting this wildlife, we're protecting ourselves. There's a connection there that we have to understand. So that creativity is something I've learned. Whereas, originally it was always to get as close as you could, get the picture of the face, get that portrait. That's always the thing you want to hang on your wall.
Fill the frame.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm learning that, hey, you know what? It's not as important to get as close as it is to connect everything, to get people in passion. There's an old saying that says, in the end, we protect what we love what we understand, and we understand what we're taught. Photography has been the greatest tool that I have to teach people to care about wildlife.
Well said.
Well,
another one. Here we go. Where's your favorite place for getting new ideas? Places like Bild. That's one of my favorite places, okay? When you come to a conference like this and you have just a huge potpourri of ideas of different people with different perspectives of different things, this type of socialization, this type of networking is worth any single class you can take anywhere. When you come to a conference like this, you're able to just seep from people the type of information that'll make you a better photographer.
Yeah. I only have one last request from you. It would not be complete if I did not hear you make that motor drive sound that you do so well. Give me one blast.
You make a joke out of it, but in wildlife photography, animals move so quickly, and this photography equipment we have now can capture things that our eyes don't see. So I tell people all the time, you see an action happening, don't be proud, put the hammer down. Get those pictures, man, because the camera's going to get what your eye doesn't see.
That's what I had to hear. My day's complete. Ron, thank you so much. But if people want to catch up on more of your work, where can they go to?
www.ronmcgill.org. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ron.
At Ron McGill Wildlife, too, is my Instagram.
Okay.
And thank B&H for putting this together. I mean, I'm not trying to be patronizing or anything, but you guys are known as like the mecca for photography. And what you do, and you bring people like this together, bring this kind of talent together, is more valuable than words can describe.
Couldn't have said better myself. Thank you, sir. There was more than one golden anniversary to celebrate at Bild, a fact we discovered when chatting with the folks at the B&H partner tables who also enjoyed a panoramic view of the Hudson. Okay, we are still at Bild Expo, and we're at the main media workshops desk, and we're speaking to Michael Mansfield. And thanks for taking the time. Tell us about main media.
Main Media is 50 years old this year. We share a birthday with B&H. And
did you get our card?
No.
Oh, I know it must be in the mail. I know we sent you a card.
It must be in the mail. We have a shared history with B&H, so this has been an extraordinary opportunity for us to come back together again.
So tell us a little bit about, I mean, what do you guys do? What's the full extent of what you offer?
We're a college and a workshop in Mid-Coast, Maine. We teach photography, filmmaking, creative writing, and book arts, and everything in between.
Assuming you are an active photographer and a creative type.
Yes.
Okay, we have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
They're random. First one being,
what is your favorite artistic genre?
and it is?
Computer-generated media.
Ah, okay. All right. Good.
Okay.
Yeah. Question number 2 is?
I have a second question. How has our branding and marketing changed in the past year? That's a fantastic question. Well, we've changed this year because this is our 50th year. We achieved accreditation this year from the New England Commission for Higher Education for the college
That's
program.
a big deal.
So in addition to the workshops that we've offered for 50 years, we also have certificate programs as well as a 3-year MFA degree. So our marketing and branding around that, the 50th year, and the fact that we have recently added back on-campus programs and things to our online programs that we've organized this year.
So it's all growth.
It's all
positive
growth. It's all positive growth.
Excellent. Last question is?
Where do you see your creative practice 10 years from now? My personal creative practice?
Yeah, sure.
I think it will probably involve a lot more machine learning and artificial intelligence in its relationship to image making, photography, and moving image work. And I think that same evolution is going to be reflected in the programming at Maine Media.
You'll have no choice.
Nobody will have a choice.
Like it or not, it's going to be part of the new world. Is it already showing up in your workshop? Are your students actively using AI, and how are the traditionalists viewing that?
The conversation is already happening on campus around these things. But a lot of our artists that are working with 19th century processes are also reinvigorating those practices with computer-generated media. So
I could see how that could be tied in. I used to do like gum printing. I used to do 4-color gum printing from Kodachromes when I had time. And I could see how these technologies can be blended and build from there. And I think that's one of the ways of looking at it. It's just another tool. I mean, Photoshop was frightening to a lot of photo retouches back in the day, understandably. So this is just a new thing.
It's one more step, one more button to push.
That's it. Anyway, pleasure speaking with you guys.
It's great to speak with you guys.
If people want to learn more about the programs you offer, where should they go to?
mainmedia.edu.
All right. That's great. Gentlemen, enjoy the rest of the show. Thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you very much. This is great.
Cultivating community was the heart and soul of Bild, and there's perhaps no better example of this than the next partner table we visited. All right, we are at Bild Expo at the Javits Center and with the Soho Photo Gallery, and we are with
Patricia Beery.
Patricia and Linda Hacker. Great to meet you. So you are obviously representing Soho Photo Gallery here at the show. Tell us a little bit about the gallery.
Soho Photo Gallery is a member cooperative gallery. We have been in New York for 52 years, so 2 years longer than B&H.
What did you do without? Where did you send people before then?
That's right. Where did we get our things? But it's 40 years in the location in Tribeca, which is 15 White Street. And it's just an exciting place. We have about 110 members right now. We're always looking for new members. And that's why we're here, to meet with lots of photographers who might like to join us.
What are the criteria for becoming a member?
The criteria are a passion for photography, and it can be any style.
Yeah.
To apply, you need to present a portfolio of work, both digitally and in print. That portfolio has to be on a theme, so that we know that you know how to compile a story or something in your work that's more than just an assortment of images.
Extended narrative.
Exactly. You write a short narrative, an artist statement that is with the work, and then a committee of members reviews it. We do those reviews one Saturday a month. Then we give you some great feedback and hopefully invite you as a member.
Sounds good. Is there a cost for becoming a member?
There is a cost of $800 a year. And we also have a membership for young members. Linda,
under 35, which is $250 a year.
Okay, fair. Very fair.
Nice. Yeah.
And that gives you an opportunity to get your name out there and your pictures out there and meet other people in the field, which is really, really important.
We also have an internship program for young students. We attract a lot of students from FIT and NYU who intern with us. And so it's a way of cultivating their love of photography also.
Excellent. Excellent. We are going to ask you 3 questions now. And they're random ones. So go for it.
All right. What's your most effective way of connecting with your audience? I would say it's the personal connection. We have our receptions once a month when the shows change. And it's when people come into the gallery and they speak to the members who are present about the work that's hanging on the walls. It's not just a gallery that's representing other artists. We are the artists and we're there. So having that connection with the viewers when they come in really makes it personal and lets people understand what it's like to be a photographer and an exhibiting artist.
Neat.
Great.
Okay.
Next question.
Next question.
Who's a past creative you most admire? Well, it's for me, my style of photography is much more painterly than most and abstract.
Okay.
And so it's a painter, William Turner.
Fair.
Because I really do love his style and the ethereal quality of his images, and I try to bring that to my photography.
Yeah.
That's
fair.
Great. And lastly,
yeah.
What's the most drool-worthy item on your B&H wish list? Oh, my. That's a good question. Well, I just got my brand new BenQ monitor, and I'm very excited, although I'm having trouble setting it up. Drool wish list. I really don't know.
That means you've got it all. Life is good.
You're not going to want to hear this, but equipment doesn't make your vision and doesn't fuel your creativity. It's the tool that you use.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly do appreciate, in fact, it was the expert named Gil down at B&H that helped me pick out that monitor. And it's that expertise that I really appreciate.
It's great.
That's great.
That's great. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us and answering some questions today. And again, we're at the Soho Photo Gallery. And if listeners would like to learn more about the organization, where should they go to?
To our website at sohophoto.com.
Okay, you got it there, and it's well worth looking into. Thank you guys for joining us today, and hope the rest of the show goes well.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
you.
To get a leg up in today's competitive landscape, creators need to take both a long and a wide view, much like the next photographer we spoke with, Erica Price. Okay, we are at Bild Expo at the Javits Center with Erica Price, and you are here in many capacities, or several capacities.
Yes.
The first capacity is?
I'm a board member of the ASMPNY chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I help produce the student portfolio review and help out with whatever the board needs me for. It's a volunteer position,
Right.
but it's a passion project. And, it's a way to give back to the community.
Sure.
I'm also here to look at the expo floor, see Cliff from Pro Photo. I'm here also to show work because I'm working like freelance photojournalist. So I got to see some photo editors.
So you
today.
worked the crowd, and then you basically had the crowd work for you as well. So you had your work reviewed.
It's been hectic, but it's a good time. It feels like the day was full of enrichment and meeting people. It's good fun.
What about the feedback? Was it anything that was eye-opening to you, or was it kind of what you were hoping or expected to hear? Because you never know what you're getting when you sit down and show your work to somebody.
And it's true. Sometimes you meet people and you think this person is going to say one thing and they say another. It's chock full of surprises, really.
And it's very subjective. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, I do not have to work on my sequencing, my editing, as far as that's been a bit of
So that's your takeaway so far?
Yeah, I'm a local photojournalist. Photo editing position at many local papers is just, it's not there. So you end up submitting something and some of the photos that get published are great. It's always an honor to be in print these days.
Sure.
But the photo that you like is not necessarily going to make the front page.
What you just said came up in a couple of interviews and a couple of conversations over the past 2 days. When it comes to editing, okay? Sometimes, especially the photographer, you'll have such a great story behind the picture. The picture may not be so great, but the story behind it was wonderful, and you become emotionally involved in it.
Yeah.
And that's an art and a science of proper editing of your images. So your takeaway is to work on sequencing,
Right.
which is good. You have a takeaway. Some people come by, they like my pictures, but I don't know what I'm doing now.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
a pat on the back is great, but sometimes constructive
Yeah.
criticism is a lot more valuable.
Yeah, and friends, they try to help, but they're like, oh, your work 10 years ago is better. I'm like, those were still life. This is photojournalism. It's completely different.
They don't get it. Totally different.
So we have 3 questions, and you get to pick them. Okay?
Oh, blind.
Yes.
One.
Pick
Let's
a
see.
card,
All
any
right.
card.
All right. What's your favorite artistic genre? Is this a trick question? Okay.
No, it's a true or false.
Well, I love the visual arts. Initially growing up, I loved like filmmaking, the BTS stuff, you know. And I was like, and always taking pictures of my family, doing the family videos. So I'd say the visual arts, yes, for sure. Photography, videography, cinematography.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Number 2.
Okay. All right, that looks like it's interesting. What's your most effective way of connecting with your audience? I'm still learning. That's why I'm here.
Okay, fair.
Number 3.
If you could be someone else for a day, who would it be and why? Interesting. Well, lately I've been thinking of chariots of fire, just running on the beach as fast as you can. So maybe a sprinter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember that scene very, very well.
Just to get that feel, you know, of how fast can you run, you know? Yeah.
All right.
Wonderful.
Erica Price, thank you for joining us. And before you leave, though, if our listeners want to catch up on work that you might be doing, Instagram, websites, anything?
I do have a website. My Instagram account is Eternal Pics. It's like Eternal Pixny,
Okay.
or at ericapricephotography.com.
Wonderful. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us.
So much.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Erica.
it.
The B&H Camera Museum was the perfect backdrop for our next encounter with a vendor who's had a unique view of the recent history of cameras and film during his tenure, as noted during our chat. We are at Bild Expo at the Javits Center in New York City, and we're with Brandon Remler, and you are with Fujifilm.
Correct.
For a long time. How long have you been with Fuji now?
You know, it's 26 and change.
At least. That's about as long as I've known you also. So, and what's interesting is that Brandon's seen Fujifilm go from film to Fuji Digital and everything in between. It's been a hell of a voyage for you. That's really for sure.
It's been a great voyage, and we've seen that film certainly surge back a little bit, so everyone's excited about that with both the 35, 120, and of course, I like to push that Instax fun.
I was just going to come to it. Would you have pictured 20 years ago that Instax would be such a big thing in your agenda?
You know, I
funny
don't
to
know
think about.
how. I guess in a way, I kind of thought that thing would catch on. And of course, it's really hard to predict anything like that. Who knew that the surge of FP100 would be so fantastic and then, of course, drop off? But the Instax certainly is filling a nice desire for that instant photography now.
This is going to be 3 questions, and the question that you have is...
Can I get a different one?
No!
How has my creative practice evolved over time? I tell you, I mean, I think we're all able to express ourselves in a much more immediate manner. So I think that sharing has really changed the way I've gotten a little more creative, and I could take more chances because, quite frankly, if I don't like it, you just do a retake. If you do like it, you could send it out to the masses. So creatively, I've been able to just keep exploring and pushing. And as you know, I think, being at Fujifilm, I have luckily every single thing that Fujifilm makes and has ever made. So I love to mix it up and just see what I grab, just like a new shirt every day.
Well, I follow your posts. You creatively, you've been there. No, you're fine.
I'm fine.
You're lucky that you no, seriously, you're posting beautiful photographs. And what's kind of cool is that you have Fujifilm behind you.
Exactly.
You get to play a lot.
I love just picking up a new lens or a new camera and trying to force myself to do something with it each day.
Which also makes you different from a lot of other vendors and reps out there, is that you actually know your product. A lot of people sell boxes, and I will never say that about
This
you.
is a rare moment where I'm without camera because it's tethered just one floor below. But usually I would never go out without my camera, even upstairs. But
what's the next question?
I think the question of the day from Jill was, who is your favorite living artist? I guess accent on the living. I think I have a long-standing relationship since birth with Tom Sachs, and he's done a lot of work in the photo community with a lot of photography, a lot of photo replicas, and a lot of photo incorporated into his artwork. And I'm wearing his sneakers and bag, and I am a big
your
fan.
birth?
No, we know each other from in the womb. Our mothers were friends.
Oh,
yes. So we go back since day zero.
Okay, not many people can make that kind of a claim. That's
No one
probably
else
one of
can
the
make
most
that claim
interesting
with him, I
statement
think.
we've had in the past 2 days.
Well,
I'd have
good to
tell
hear.
you.
Good to hear.
How's this question for the third?
There you go. The third question is,
my most essential creative tool, do I get to say Fujifilm cameras?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's either Fujifilm cameras and this thing above my shoulders.
What's
my
that?
head.
Your brain?
It's my
Your
creative
eye.
tool, I assume. I don't know what else. I've been playing with trying to do car photography and video lately. Did you capture my infrared car video?
No.
Oh, I just did a really fun, the new Fujifilm 8mm on the XH2S, super wide, connected to the back of the car, infrared color, and I drove a time lapse for about 30 minutes shooting a frame, and then I put it together so I have and the colors are wild, the perspective is wild. It was just a creative tool that I had not had before with the infrared camera and the 8mm lens.
Okay, I will get to that today for sure.
All right.
I did not see it, and I will intend to.
No
take a look
worries.
at it.
We're always having fun. There's so much to see and share. So
yeah.
I appreciate what B&H does. I'm a podcast fan. Once in a while, I've fallen asleep to you. So in a good way. That's what I want.
No. I do the same.
Yeah.
I toss and turn. I listen to myself on the show, and I'm gone.
I love when
Before
Kevin
the
is
break.
on. Also, I tell Kevin I love hearing the end of the year reviews of gear. So lots of good stuff.
Yep.
So where can people find out more about you and your work?
Certainly Instagram, I would say, is Brandon Remler on Instagram. And, of course, Fujifilm at fujifilmus.com or instaxus.com and all the other places you find us. Fujifilm-x.com.
Brandon, thank you so much. Have a great day. Great show.
Thanks for having me. First-time caller. Enjoyed it.
B&H's social media channels were on overdrive throughout the show, thanks in part to our next guest, Dana Glidden. Okay, we are with Dana Glidden, who is another B&H employee. Now, aside from having a slew of really gorgeous kids, tell us what you do here at B&H.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I manage the social media team and creative video production teams here at B&H. So everything that shows up across our many social media channels, all of the educational and inspirational videos on our YouTube channel, everything on TikTok, everything on Instagram, that's us.
So this is a very relaxing, calm day for you.
This is quite the opposite of that. We have an amazing show here with a ton of opportunities for just to share what's happening here with everybody that hasn't been able to come and see it in person.
How many speakers are there at the end count?
60 plus speakers here, 130 brands across the showroom floor. We have photo walks, we have portfolio reviews, we have photo opportunities all over the place. It blew away any expectation that I pretended to have coming into it.
The hallways have been jammed from opening to closing. And it's one thing I noticed yesterday, and it seems to be the same today. It's a heck of a turnout.
Yeah, I got here at 7 a.m. yesterday, and we had people starting to come in at 8 for David Brommer's opening remarks on the main stage. We had a standing room only crowd at 9:30 a.m. and that was very amazing to see. And then again this morning with Menashe and Casey for the main stage. Casey was overflowing the room. We had 2 overflow rooms, and we opened both days of the show in a very spectacular way.
Now, I know the show is not over yet, but so far, what's been a highlight for you here?
So I'll take it from a couple of areas. So it is B&H's 50th anniversary. So this is also almost like an odd family reunion. I've seen a lot of people that have come through just to celebrate with us that don't live in New York. People just came in for the event, and that's been wonderful to see. And I mean, speakers that I was excited about. That I'm glad that a lot of other people came in that were excited about. Adrian Parr on the creative production stage, his room was overflowing. He was very excited to be a part of the show and promoted it out to his audience, and they came in droves, and many other speakers as well. So that's been very welcoming, and I was very happy to see that. And just kind of walking around the halls and like hearing like murmurings from people about like how much fun they're having and just the show that we were able to put together. And like many tireless hours over many teams at B&H kind of poured into this, and it's really great to see a very welcome reception for it.
And where can people find out more about you and what you do?
About me? Oh my gosh.
What you're up to?
I feel like this is like not the right thing to say, but I don't really use social media a lot. I don't post a whole lot except for photos of my kids and stuff. I manage social media for B&H. I spend all of the time for B&H on social media, and I don't really create a whole lot of my own content, but I am a freelance video editor outside of B&H. I edit tons of projects for other people and keep that creative kind of flow alive. But follow B&H, as you already are, because you're listening to the B&H Photo Podcast.
Dana Glidden, thank you so much for joining us today, and hope the rest of the show goes equally beautifully as it's been going so far.
Thank you for having me and for letting me talk for far too long.
As day 2 of Bild is winding down, we're on the prowl for featured speakers making their final goodbyes before jetting off into the wild blue yonder, when, what do you know, we struck gold with none other than Amy Vitale. We are still at Bild Expo at the Javits Center, New York City, and we're with Amy Vitale. Hi, how are you? Good to have you on the show again here. I'm looking at the phone here.
Alan, it is wonderful to be here. Jill.
So you're speaking here?
I've already spoken.
You have?
I have.
And what did you speak about?
I spoke about how to make an impact with your images.
Okay. Key things, key takeaways.
I think be in it for the long term.
Mm-hmm.
Take the listening approach and look for the holes in narratives of what has already been told.
Okay.
Because there's always new stories, even if it's been a story that's out there for a long time, finding your own unique perspective. And that is really important. And also not following along with the old narratives, because stories evolve over time. And I think very often photographers, storytellers, journalists very often do their research, which is great, but then they rehash what's already been told. And so I think it's so important to let people show you where the new angles are.
Use your own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the best part. We're going to have 3 questions, and the first one is...
What's your most effective way of connecting with your audience? By building trust in relationships, taking the time before you pick up the camera. It can be a beautiful, empowering tool to share people's stories, but it can also be very exploitative, and understanding the power of the camera and what it does.
Yes.
And you really need to be sensitive and tread lightly and build that trust, and then the doors will open.
Well said. Next question.
How has your creative practice evolved over time? I think that as I get older, I realize the importance of slowing down and making timeless images, not just the timely ones. Because when you make images that are iconic, they will last forever, but they take a little more time and work to do. And so I've really learned to slow down a little bit and be in it for the long term. And the value of that is immense.
Question number 3.
Where do you see your creative practice 10 years from now? Great question. I think it is so much about collaboration. That is where we're moving. I mean, when I began this, it was all about, compete, who's the best. I think, we have to embrace each other, lift each other up. That's why I created Vital Impacts, which is a nonprofit. We use the power of all of us by unifying. We have raised millions of dollars, not just for conservation and grassroots efforts for the future of this planet, but also to then reinvest in the storytellers themselves. And we did that by unifying together and realizing, it's a fast race to the bottom if we only think about ourselves. If you think about one another, we can find creative ways to this quickly changing, evolving landscape of photography. There are always opportunities. And I also think it is in these transformative moments that the biggest opportunities are there to reimagine, reinvent, find a way forward. So I feel so excited always about the future. And I know when people are terrified of AI and terrified of all the new things coming, media is changing. It is imploding in a lot of ways, but somebody smart is going to come in and make it as an opportunity. And I want to be a part of that train.
Yes.
Whoa. That might have been one of the best answers we've had on the past 2 days. That's great. Amy, it's always great running into you and talking with you. If our listeners would like to catch up on more of your work, where can they go to?
Thank you. Well, they can always go to my website, AMIV, like Victor, ITALE.com. But more importantly, I've also created Vital Impacts, and that's impacts with an S.org. And there I'm trying to create opportunities, empower, and share the work of amazing environmental photographers who are really interested in the issues of our planet and the wildlife and each other. So it's a great place to get inspired.
It's wonderful. Amy, as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ellen, and
Thank
Jill,
you,
and
Amy.
Mike.
Finally, this episode would not be complete without the voice of Bild's master of ceremonies, the person who's responsible for piecing the whole thing together, the one and only David Brommer.
Well, thank you so much, but I have to just stand corrected that this is a massive team effort. Every facet of the company had his hands in this. So our marketing department, we put the third floor and the fourth floor together, but the fifth floor was other departments. I'm very proud of the whole company.
All right, let's rephrase it then, okay? David is the guy wearing the top hat in the middle of the 3 rings under the tent.
Cha-ching, that's it. I'll take that.
We're nearing the end of 2 days, and I would say that everybody seems to think this is way beyond expectations. Is that?
Wow, it blew away all expectations.
Really?
And it's important because, first off, Bild needs to exist. Beyond business and all that, that's all great, but Bild needs to be a focus in a community that's here in New York City, and it's been missing for many years, and there wasn't anyone that could pick up the mantle and fill the void of what was really, let's be honest, it was Photo Plus East. And that disintegrated.
Sure.
And we all know that how important that was, and what a significant part of our industry it was, and the community it fostered, and it disappeared. We have picked it up. That baton fell on the ground. They snoozed. We picked it up, and we're going to run with it.
It's an interesting thing is that the last few large photo expos that had been here when it was still happening, not as crowded as what I've seen here today and yesterday.
They weren't as good as us. We're B&H Photo for a reason. Our staff is incredibly passionate about what we do.
Yeah.
And when we bring that, I'll just give you an example. I got to interview Chris Kentis, the director of Open Water, today. And I called him up a couple of months ago when we were recruiting speakers. And he was very happy to be part of it. When he did Open Water, he used Sony PD150 and VX2000 cameras that he bought at B&H Photo. And I remember reading that in an American Cinematographer magazine. Of course, he said, I love B&H. I'd be honored to come. And that's it. Other trade show companies can't think like that. But we're B&H Photo. We're different. Photography's in our DNA. Alan, I know you're a fabulous photographer, and you taught so much in our event space. It's all part of it. We're passionate. The other companies just treated it like an expo and a job, and we're a little bit more than that.
Well put.
Yeah. So we have 3 questions for you, and you get to pick them.
Awesome. I love it.
It's a card, any card.
Okay. What is your most essential creative tool That's the thing I got 2 inches behind the viewfinder. That's what Ansel Adams said. My essential creative tool is just my imagination.
Excellent.
Well said. Next.
Okay. What's the most drool-worthy item on your B&H wish list? Funny, we were just talking about this. It would be the Nikon Z9, the flagship Nikon camera that's out right now. I saw a video in our Optic West from Christy Odom, and that video is stuck in my head. I've never seen anything so beautiful, sharp. Even like compared to like BBC Earth, the really big productions, that Z9 with some Nikon glass is just amazing. So I drool. Oh, I'm sorry. I drooled on your microphone. Sorry. Do we have a wipe?
It'll end up in the news department next week. It's okay.
What is your opinion of AI? Have you explored any of these tools yet? Okay, so first question, what is your opinion of AI? I ran into the late, great Jerry Ullsman years ago at a Society for Photographic Education, and I walked up to Jerry Ullsman. I said, Jerry, I think we were on around Photoshop 6 or 7 at that point. I said, what do you think of Photoshop? Because it allows people to do what you've been doing in the darkroom so eloquently for years, really easily. And Jerry pulled at his beard, looked me in the eye, and said, the greatest part about Photoshop is the unlimited possibilities. The worst part about Photoshop is the unlimited possibilities. So my opinion of AI is it's like a tool like anything else. Have you explored any of these tools yet? I kept it very quiet, but I've got a small portfolio. I've been working on a photographic tarot deck for the past 25 years of my life, and it really petered out and slowed down, and I picked it back up. And AI is allowing my imagination to develop this photo deck, this tarot photo deck, which is 72 cards, and I think I'll have it done in probably maybe 6 to 8 months, as opposed to decades. And it's AI, and it's like a tool.
There you go.
You know, is a hammer great when you're hammering nails? Is a hammer great when you miss the nail and hit your thumb? AI is coming. That technology's here. If you resist it, you're just resisting. You can't resist it. You should adapt it and use it. You can stand in front of a storm that's heading towards you and say, I reject this storm. You're going to get wet. Storm don't care.
That's what I look at it. There's 2 ways you could ride a horse in the same direction. It's going in the opposite direction, and one's easier than the other.
That's true.
And a little neater.
We help you from falling off.
David Brahma, thank you again for all of this, all the work you've done for B&H. And helping it all happen. I know you're not the only one, but it's nice to know that somebody up there is kind of overseeing all this stuff and making sure that it all happens, and you're good at that.
Thank you. Right back at you, and I appreciate it. And you know, you guys do a good job too. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys have pulled from this conference, because it's great people here. Thank you so much.
All right, Dave.
One last question: where can people see or learn about the tarot deck or
other work that you do?
So that's I have to finish it first, and you can go to @suspectphotography. That's my Instagram, suspectphotography.com, david@davidbrahmer.com, davidbrahmer.com. Just basically Google my name. I'm blessed with a relatively uncommon name, so it's easy to find. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
All right,
Let's get
Dave.
back to the stage.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thanks.
Well, we certainly hope you've enjoyed our roving audio romp through B&H's first ever Bild Expo. Happy anniversary, B&H. Here's to another 50 years and many more creator events like this one in years to come. And as always, thanks to our listeners for joining us today. If you are a fan of the show but not yet a subscriber, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts and click subscribe. And while you're there, please leave a comment with your thoughts about our show. You can also find us on the Explorer blog, where we post photos from our guests along with our show notes. And please join us on Facebook at the B&H Photography Podcast group, where you can share your favorite photos and comments about the show. I'm your host, Alan Weitz. Jill Waterman is our creative producer. Episodes are recorded, mixed, and edited by technical producer Mike Weinstein. Our executive producer is Grant Willig, and our editorial director is Sean Steiner. On behalf of all of us, thank you oh so much for tuning in today.
Thanks to Godox for sponsoring this week's episode.